Bom dia, tudo bem? Hoje é segunda-feira, 29 de setembro, no, 30 de setembro, com licença. And I just returned from a really short beach walk up to the main praça because I was looking for the famous Pitimbu sign with the sailboat and the letters, Eu amo Pitimbu. And it's not there, it was gone. It was gone. I was just, I don't know what happened to it, but that's why I went up there, is just to take a couple quick photos and leave, but it was gone. Speaking of leaving, we'll be doing that today. So we'll be checking out here at 11, heading back up to Jampa for 4 more days. I'm looking forward to that. We'll be staying in Manaíra. I've never stayed in that area before, a little more residential area than what I'm used to. So that'll be a new experience. It'll be nice to have some more food options, some more entertainment options. Pitimbu was really nice. I don't think I would return. Lucena I would return, no doubt about it, for sure. This place today is really quiet right now. Last night there was more political stuff going on, and there must have been 100 or more motorbikes screaming through here with yellow flags and the candidate's name and all that kind of fun stuff. That was quite a sight. I almost grabbed my camera. That was really quite a sight. Very noisy. I don't think they're doing their candidates any favor by making that much noise and disturbing everyone. Now, it wasn't late, it was like 7 or so, but just not a great ambiance. The neighbors wound up packing up and leaving, so I'm sure this place will go back to normal. Lots of fishermen on the beach doing their thing, and I saw my first beach donkeys. I saw horse donkeys, I saw beach horses in Lucerna, and I saw beach donkeys here in Pitimbu. So those are the neighbors that left, and we'll be heading out too. I gotta find a car wash because boy did our vehicle get pretty dirty. Alright, we'll check back probably on the road. Alright, Seja bem-vindo, Farol de Cabo Branco. It was constructed in 1971. Ponto extremo oriente da América do Sul. See, this is the string cars used to drive, but they found it was contributing to erosion and they stopped all the traffic.
Bom dia, tudo bem? Hoje é terça-feira, 1 de outubro, October 1st today, and yeah, back in Jampa. Got in, maybe around 3, just a crazy busy day with, getting the car cleaned before I turn it in, filling up the tank, getting it turned in, checking it out. The young lady at Localiza spoke excellent English. Really, really wonderful people, as always. An exceptional experience at Localiza, and I would definitely use those again. I was just researching this pine tree, informally called the Caribbean pine, native to Bahamas, which was native to southeast U.S. actually, because I saw a bunch of pines and I thought, oh, those eucalyptus, and they're not. But I was surprised to see these evergreen conifer pines here alongside the palm trees. Anyway, we are in Manaíra, really more of a residential neighborhood, and you can tell on my walk back from Localiza, this is not Cabo Branco. I really like this this is a neighborhood, and I really like it. I really like this neighborhood. I kind of thought I would, that's why I'm staying here. Anyway, you see really a nice view. Up just north we get into the bairros de Jardim Oceana. And then after that, I think it starts after the spit, is another neighborhood called Bessa, more residential. You can see some big high-rises being built back there. This is in another construction boom here, but much different than Cabo Branco. I'd have to crop it, but if I crop in, I can actually just make out Hotel Tambau. This morning's itinerary, definitely going to hit the beach later today. I'd like to get a haircut before I leave. I'd like to hit up Manaíra shopping mall. It's the largest shopping mall in the state of Paraíba. Otherwise, I've got 4 full days here starting today, and I'm going to soak up as much as I can. So regardless of whatever we do, I can just make out some boats out there. That must be for the area Vermelha tour. Anyway, the staff here is great. This is a Happy Hotel. I rented this through Airbnb, but the front desk people are absolutely wonderful, friendly, smiling, super, super helpful. So thank you everyone here for your help and my dumb gringo questions. Anyway, we will check back later. One thing I didn't do yesterday when we checked in was do a room tour. It was just, boy, I underestimated how exhausting driving was. I mean, we were in the car maybe 3 hours, but it seemed like 6 or 8 just from the stress of being in different conditions, different car, unfamiliar roads. Fortunately, Google Maps worked really well, but just, yeah. So anyway, I didn't do a tour yesterday. This is an apartment inside of a hotel. Exceptionally efficient use of space. I'm not sure why there's a door on the kitchen. Maybe they're afraid the refrigerator is going to run away. I'm not sure. But, efficient use of space in here. No fogão, but they've got the basics. Nice stovetop. All is well in here. Little smaller than what it appears, but this is plenty of room for us. Got a banheiro social. That's where Kelvin is. This is my bathroom. So again, plenty use of space, big enough. Probably, yeah, this is a good size. I'm not sure what this area is here. This is kind of odd. I'm not sure what that was or should be. And of course, I went to sleep with the sound of the ocean last night. I didn't need to watch YouTube. This may be a good sunrise location tomorrow morning. I've got the sun like right there. Yeah, this will work. But anyway, that's the room. Super efficient use of space. 2 people, I think, is comfortable. More than that would be kind of tight. Otherwise, great staff. Internet's good. I've not tested the speed yet, but seems pretty good. Anyway, that's where we're at. Ate. All right, here's our starting point. In front of Happy Hotel. Empty lot right next to us. That's gotta be going for some big money. Wonder how long that's gonna be vacant. We'll see. Nice shaded line trees. So I discovered that these conifers, these evergreen conifers, are called a Caribbean pine. They're native to the southeast US. And the theory is that they migrated to like the Caribbean, Jamaica, Bahamas, and then found their way here. I thought it was pretty unique to see conifers here in a tropical climate. All right, we're gonna hit the beach. Maybe hit this on the way back. So once again, you can make out Hotel Tambao. Tide's on its way out, but we're really still like 2.5 hours from low tide. And if I recall correctly, it gets a little dicey up and around as you get north of Bessa. You really have to wait for low tide. But right now, you can see even at high tide, this beach is usable. So just behind us there is Praia de Manaíra, and then way up, just a little bit ways up here, we get into Praia de Oceana. We'll see, maybe we'll walk up to Bessa, I'm not sure. I'm really not in a hurry. I'm gonna get a haircut, and just because they open at 8 doesn't mean I've got to be there at 8, right? But I'm curious to see what the beach vibe is here compared to Cabo Branco. I'm guessing it's going to be a little more upscale, a little more fancy, probably much more expensive, at least by Brazilian standards anyway. But we'll see how these beaches compare. I really do deserve to experience just how different this residential area is versus the tourist area. I've got a lot of experience in that tourist area part, and I don't have a lot here. This already is nice, little lounge chairs and everything. That's super nice. You don't see that down in Cabo Branco, those really nice, comfortable lounge chairs. Menus probably relatively similar in terms of options, but like Kelvin said last night, they add some American words, and that just to increase the price. Adds to the international feel to it, right? It's funny. All right, that's it. I just walked by Mag shopping. I remember walking by there yesterday to pick up the car from the car wash, and the doors are just wide open, and you can just feel the blast of air conditioning, but seemingly just no regard for any kind of energy conservation. Just doors wide open, AC just pulling on out. This vendor's getting ready for the day. It reminded me of Las Vegas, walking by those casinos and their doors being open with just the AC. You can just walk by and feel how cold it is from them leaving their doors open. I was doing some reading last night on just what's going on here in terms of development in Jampa, and apparently there's a relatively recent code which states that new buildings must not exceed 4 stories. Anything taller than that is grandfathered in, as it was part of the old legislation, but apparently the new legislation in this area limits buildings to just 4 stories unless they were approved prior to that legislation. And I'm kind of seeing that here. That's good. I mean, put the taller buildings behind them, not the opposite way. Those are a couple of tall buildings that really stand out. Wonder if it's the same company maybe building them concurrently. Wow, that's just talk about logistical challenges, man. Nothing's in a hurry though. The infrastructure, for as good as it is here, boy, you get outside the capital and just, the roads, and even just something simple as driving at night. It just getting things done here just takes such a long time. Time is money, but here it just seems like no one's really in a hurry to do anything with any kind of sense of urgency.
there isn't seemingly any kind of attitude of, well, the sooner I start it, the sooner it'll be done. I don't know if it's just procrastination, but boy, that is really difficult. That is an element of cultural fatigue that causes me probably the greatest amount of stress here. All right, we're making progress. It's been, wow, that's a nice skyline. Holy cow. It's been about 1.25 miles since I've been walking. I'm not too far away from this bend where we can check out Jardim Oceana. This is a big operation here. A kiosk, Pesta Oaxaca's all together. Yeah, that's pretty tight. All right, yeah, so they definitely have some erosion control structures in place here. You know, those are some really expensive buildings, and I kind of can foresee visions of Hotel Tambau right there. Vision of the future. I mean, obviously they've got this huge break wall here, but got to protect your investment. Okay, this is kind of what I remember. This gets a little sketchy around this edge. I probably can do it at low tide here, but any higher, this I think would be about impossible. I remember maybe last year riding my bike down here and seeing this. We'll see what it looks like. And way up there would be Capadela. We'll see how far I can make it here. I may have to turn around. It's been about 1.5 miles so far. We'll take a peek and see. All right, so far so good. I am really seeing some like super swanky, high-end stuff, which really kind of just makes me sick to see. It's just so ostentatious. It's gross to me. There's a certain Brazilian crowd which really eats this up. But yeah, I don't like these real nose in the air places at all. But that's kind of the area we're in now. All right, a few places for rent up here. Jesus, look at all that shit up there. Yeah, a couple places for rent. Rent me. Boy, that's right up to the edge. There's not a lot of room. You know, a big storm and the party's over. One big storm. They're going to need to continue to invest in erosion control. Costly, and they've been slack about that, it looks like. All right, and llegamos. We have arrived. This really probably is super close to the neighborhood of Bessa. Praia de Bessa is just up here, but you can see real low slung skyline. You don't see, I mean, there are a few buildings which are quite tall, maybe over 10 stories, but otherwise pretty slung. We really can't see this from where we're at. It's kind of a blind spot. And I really have spent zero to no time here in Bessa. We're just over the 2-mile mark, so I'm going to actually turn it around pretty quickly. Crazy enough, I actually can see, it looks, I think, maybe the cliffs of Ponto de Cestas, Praia de Cestas, I think, right up ahead. Didn't think I'd be able to see that. And then eventually we'll see the infamous ghost hotel, Fantasma Hotel de Tambau. Well, even though I'm walking into the wind now, I had a feeling that this direction would really be the best views, and it is. You can, other than Central, it seems like you can see the entire skyline, except, you know, to what's immediately to my right. That's a great shot right there, for sure. Wow, yeah, this is an impressive shot. This was definitely worth the walk. Once again, I'm generally not impressed by the efforts of mankind, because generally they are only self-serving, but this really is this is a pretty cool shot. I have to admit this is a pretty cool shot. Well, these guys have made substantial progress. There's a place that looks like it's being refurbished. Wow, this really is stunning. This was definitely worth the walk. One of the things I take for granted here are clean beaches, and I can't say I've really seen any trash. What I do see are these blue bins every, I don't know, 20 meters or so. I mean, there's trash can, well-maintained trash cans everywhere. I do kind of take for granted that the beaches here are clean, and they are. obviously you're going to have your random coconut shells and husks and things, and the occasional infrequent water bottle, but overall the beaches really are maintained well. Sand groomers, a lot of other areas could learn from Jampa for sure. The view seems to get even better as I walk closer. I can more clearly make out the boats waiting for their passengers to board for the various paseos today. I can see, kind of make out the spire of Farol de Cabo Branco, Hotel Tambau. I can see Sky View, Sky Bar. There's Mag Shopping to the right. I'm not too far away now. Kind of making good time. Not a ton of beach walkers. Certainly much less foot traffic than Cabo Branco. So if you want a little more tranquility, really nice beach walk for sure. So you can see even at high tide, which is on its way out, lots of room, wide swaths of beach. All right, that's us right there. I'm actually going to swing by the Conveniencia first. But yeah, that really was an exceptionally pleasant walk. Easy going, not too crowded. Yeah, much different than Cabo Branco, much different. Nice, very nice. That was a great way to start the day for sure. Now I gotta think about when I want to get a haircut or not. All right, check back later. It's really nice too. So if you're kind of tired of the beach walk, you've got these tree-lined areas which separate pedestrians, bicycles, and the actual motorized traffic. All right, we're gonna swing by Cerveja Express up here, which is basically like a little convenience store. Right. So I was just kind of chilling out at my little workstation there. I hear a bus, and well, what do you know? Luque Receptivo. Man, these guys. The tourist mafia, man. The tourist mafia. Alright, another little spot I just walked out. So, seja bem-vindo, Praia de Manaíra. And as you can tell, this is much different from Praia de Cabo Branco. Not a ton of tables and chairs, much less busy, not a lot of umbrellas and things. People kind of rolling up and bringing their own tables and chairs. Even not a lot of sports. I've seen a number of people just kind of walking out, jumping in, and just being on their way again. The fish market, Hotel Tambau, some of the lembranzas shops, the tourist areas down south. But yeah, definitely a much different vibe for sure. All right, walking right into the wind. This is gonna really be a test of how well this wind foam works, that's for sure. It's strange seeing Manaíra from the beach. I've really never spent, this is my first time spending any time on the beach. But I have to say again, after getting back from my haircut and going to the pharmacy, I really like this neighborhood. I really, really do. It is nice being away from the tourist craziness. The waves here are swimming is even nicer here. It's just super gentle, super calm in the water. Although I will say, spending some time on the beach, it's kind of boring. It's relaxing, but for me, it's kind of boring. There's really not much to see. Obviously, there's not a lot of food items. I like seeing that kind of stuff. So I think ideally, moving forward, I would probably spend my time in Manaíra in terms of where I stay. But as you can see, the beaches are, gosh, just desolate. There's a lot of people here, but this really isn't a popular place to come lay on the beach. All the services are in Cabo Branco. That's where the fun stuff is. So yeah, I think tomorrow I can check the box of saying I spent time in Manaíra Beach. Tomorrow I'm going to go back to Cabo Branco. It's where the fun is, where the craziness is. I'll have to look up the name of this place. This is another residence here. They have all kinds of availability on Airbnb. It looks a little dated to me. I kind of wanted to stay away from that place. I'm happy with our location. I honestly wish the view was a bit better. But again, I'm nitpicking. Location really is excellent. Some fishermen. Of course, the fishmonger, the fish market's just up ahead. So they're probably still putting in a few hours of labor to process their catch or whatever. Well, that place got a little kitnet for rent. Alugo kitnet, that's like a studio. It'd be like a studio apartment here. Considering the neighborhood, probably on the higher end, although probably not as high as what Cabo Branco would be. I considered Verde Green Hotel. That place was pretty expensive, but it was a little too close to the main tourist towns for me. I've got a little bit of buffer room, but this clearly is a residential area. I mean, look at this. Look at this beach. It's wide open. Not a lot of services. People live here. They bring their own chairs and stuff. Yeah, it's funny. Every time, not every time, but I'll walk by some worker or whatever, and it's like the fourth time I've been asked like what time it is, and they clearly see I'm wearing a watch. But it's just interesting that they're not. They probably have a phone. But yeah, they see me wearing a watch and just like, yeah, that's just a regular thing to just say, hey, what time is it? Que horas? Meio-dia. All right, that's it.